Welcome back, dear students. Today we are going to recall the definition of linear isomorphism, which we have already studied in second year. Given two vector spaces V and W, we say that these two vector spaces are isomorphic if uh, there exists a linear transformation T from V to W, which is both 1 1 and on 2. Okay, so in other words, you can say Uh, a linear transformation T from V to W is said to be a linear isomorphism if T is 1 1 and onto both. Okay, so if I want to tell you this in other words, given two vector spaces V and W, so these two vector spaces are said to be isomorphic if there exists a linear transformation. Okay, if there exists a linear transformation T from V to W, which is 1 1 and on to both. Okay, now try to understand. There exists in the sense, it may happen that one student may get a different linear transformation and other may get a different. It is not like that linear transformation will be one and the same. Okay, so just take note of that. So if T from V to W is a linear isomorphism, then we say that V is isomorphic to what? W. And in terms of notation, we denote it like this. Okay. And second note is isomorphism of vector spaces is an equivalence relation. In the sense what? Vector space is always isomorphic to itself, meaning V is always isomorphic to V. Now it is symmetric also, means if V is isomorphic to W, if, okay, just a minute. So if V is isomorphic to W and W is isomorphic to U, this is transitive, right? So what is symmetric? If V is isomorphic to U, sorry, if V is isomorphic to W, then W is isomorphic to what? V. Okay. Means saying V is isomorphic to W and W is isomorphic to V is one and the same thing. Now it is transitive also, means if V is isomorphic to W and W is isomorphic to some U, then we can say that this V is isomorphic to what? U. Okay, so this is nothing but what? The meaning of equivalence relation. Okay, now second thing I would like to point out you is, जर आपल्याला दोन वेक्टर स्पेसेस जर आयसोमॉर्फिक दाखवायचे असतील तर आपल्याला काय करावं लागेल? देअर एक्झिस्ट मीन्स व्हॉट? आपल्याला शोधावं लागेल किंवा आपल्याला डिफाईन करावं लागेल एक मॅप टी फ्रॉम व्ही टू डब्ल्यू, आणि त्या मॅपला आपण काय दाखवणार? लिनियर ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन 1 1 अँड व्हॉट? ऑन टू. इज दॅट क्लिअर? सो whatever theory question we are going to discuss now, that is very famous theory question, and it is first isomorphism theorem of vector spaces. Now today we are going to prove theory question number 5, that is first isomorphism theorem for vector spaces. So now let us go for the statement. Given two vector spaces V and W and a linear transformation, note that linear transformation should be onto, then this V mod kernel of T is isomorphic to W. Now just try to understand, whenever we are having a linear transformation or a linear map, then we already have subspaces of domain and codomain respectively. Now talking about domain, what is the subspace of domain that we are having once we have a linear transformation? That subspace is what? Kernel of T. And what is the subspace of codomain that we are having? That is image of T, right? So note, over here we are having kernel of T as a subspace of V and image of T as a subspace of W. Now let us go a little bit back and let us try to recall the definition of quotient space. So when our quotient space V mod W is well defined, our quotient space V mod W is well defined if provided obviously V is a vector space and W is what? A subspace of V. That is important. Okay. So whenever you are having a subspace of a vector space V, then immediately you can construct what? The quotient space. Okay. So over here V is a vector space and W is what? A subspace, right, of V, and therefore the quotient space V mod W is well defined. Now coming back to our theory quotient, see, V is a vector space naturally, and what is a subspace? Kernel of T is the subspace of V. So therefore clearly this V mod kernel of T is a well defined quotient space. Now remember, whenever you come across quotient space, okay, V mod W, it is clear that this W is a subspace of what? V, because without that quotient space is not well defined. Okay. Now we have to show that these two vector spaces, that is V mod kernel of T and W, are isomorphic. So how to show these two vectors spaces are isomorphic? So we should try to find a linear map from what? V mod kernel of T to W, and we will show that that linear map is 1 1 and on 2, right? So first of all, what I will do is I will call this kernel of T at some U. Okay. So let U is equal to what? Kernel of T. And now what we have to show? We have to show that this V mod U is isomorphic to what? W, isn't it? Now in order to show this V mod U is isomorphic to W, we should define a map. I will call that map as phi from what? V mod U to W, and we will show that this map is what? Now since we are defining this map, we have to show first of all this map is what? Well defined. Then later on we will show that it is 1 1, then we will show that it is on 2, and at last we will show that it is a linear map. Okay. So once we show this all, then we can say that this phi is a isomorphism, and therefore this V mod U will be isomorphic to what? W, right? Now the question is how to define this map phi. Okay. Now see, how do elements of V mod U look like? Okay. So elements of V mod U are nothing but what? It is a collection of V plus U now, such that V belongs to what? V, right? So naturally whatever phi I am going to define, I will write it here. It will be phi of, now how does the element of V mod U look like? It is V plus U, which is equal to, now we have to give image to this V plus U. Now the question is how to give it. So see properly here, whatever image we have to give, that should be where? In W. Am I right? Because this is a codomain of our phi. So now this is a coset V plus U. Now what is the representative of this coset? It is V, right? So from where is this V? This V is from where? This vector space V. Okay. So the question is, so from this V, can we construct the element of W? This is the question, and the answer is yes. How? See, this linear transformation we are already having. T is from what? V to W. So this small v is from the domain. So if I take image of V under T, then whatever element I will get, that will be in W. So actually I am talking about what? T of V. Is that okay? So how I am going to define this map? Phi of V plus U is equal to what? T of V. Okay. Now this T of V will be where? In W. Now since we have defined this map, now we have to show that it is what? well defined, right? So that is what I have done here. You can see, so we have defined this map as somewhat like this. Now we have to show that it is a well defined map. Okay, so now the question is how to show a function is well defined. So we should recall the definition of that. So we have already seen this definition in theory question number 2, I guess, if I am not wrong. Okay, so but still we will recall the definition of well defined function. So if you are having certain relation from x to y, and suppose we have to show that it is a well defined function, so how do we show it? So we start with what, x1 is equal to x2, and we prove what, f of x1 is equal to f of x2. So if this thing is happening, म्हणजे हे गृहीत धरायचं आहे आणि हे प्रूव्ह करायचं आहे. जर हे प्रूव्ह करू शकलो आपण तर आपण म्हणणार इट इज अ वेल डिफाइंड मॅप, अँड दिस x1 and x2 are from where they are the members of x. Okay, so and what is the 1 1 function? It is converse of this. We assume f of x1 is equal to f of x2, and we show that x1 is equal to what, x2. Okay, so let us start with this then. Let us take two elements of what, domain, which are equal, and we will show that their images are equal. But what is our domain of the function? Our domain of the function is v mod u. So how do elements of v mod u look like? They are like this, right? So how will two elements of v mod u look like? Okay, so u is fixed, remember. Okay, since it is a coset of u in v, so this u is going to be fixed. So this is a variable over here. So what I will say, let v1 plus u is equal to what, v2 plus u. So I have taken elements to be same. See here, that is what I am doing, where this v1 plus u and v2 plus u are naturally from v mod u. Now what will happen is, now we have to show that, what we have to show, we have to show the images are equal, right? So images in the sense what, phi of v1 plus u is equal to what, phi of v2 plus u. हे आपल्याला दाखवायचं आहे. नाव हे दाखवायचं आहे म्हणजेच ॲक्च्युली काय दाखवायचं आहे, दॅट इज वी हॅव टू शो. नाव व्हॉट इज phi of v1 plus u? If you use this definition of function properly, this phi of v1 plus u will be what, t of v1, and this will be what, t of v2. So actually in order to show this, we have to show t of v1 is equal to what, t of v2. Okay, now we are having this v1 plus u is equal to v2 plus u. Now we will recall our theory question number 1, okay, that we are going to use here. What was that? v1 plus w is equal to v2 plus w if and only if the subtraction of the representatives belongs to what, w. Okay, so same thing we will apply here. Now over here we are having v1 plus u is equal to v2 plus u, so this will imply that this v1 minus v2 will belong to what, u. I hope it is clear till here, which is further equal to what, kernel of t, because u is nothing but what, kernel of t, isn't it? So we are having v1 minus v2 belongs to what, kernel of t. Now since v1 minus v2 is belonging to kernel of t, what it will imply? I will just erase this part. So just try to recall the definition of kernel of t. So what is our kernel of t? Our kernel of t is a collection of v belonging to v such that t of v is equal to 0 of w, right? Means एखादा एलिमेंट जर कर्नल ऑफ टी मध्ये असेल, then the एखादा एलिमेंट in the sense I am talking about this. So this small v is there in kernel of t if what happens, image of that element is what, 0. So this element now v1 minus v2 is in kernel of t, so therefore what will happen, image of that element will be equal to what, 0. Okay, but t is a linear transformation, so what will happen, T of V1 minus T of V2 will be equal to this 0. Okay, but since T of V1 minus T of V2 is equal to 0, this will imply T of V1 is equal to what? T of V2. And that is what we wanted to prove here. Now since T of V1 is equal to T of V2, what it will imply? Because T of V1 is nothing but what? It is phi of V1 plus U. So therefore phi of V1 plus U is equal to what? Phi of V2 plus U. And therefore our phi is a well-defined map. Okay, so let us see what I have written here. So I have said let V1 plus U is equal to V2 plus U, same as this. This implies V1 minus V2 belongs to U, which is our kernel of T. But this will imply image of this V1 minus V2 is equal to 0. Then this will imply T of V1 minus T of V2 is equal to 0, because T is a linear map. If you want, you can write the reason here. Okay? Since what do we know? V1 plus W is equal to V2 plus, आता इथे U notation है ना. Since V1 plus U is equal to V2 plus U, if and only if V1 minus V2 belongs to what? U, right? That result we have used. So therefore T of V1 will be equal to T of V2, and therefore this phi of V1 plus U will be equal to phi of V2 plus U, and therefore phi is a well-defined map. Okay, now we are going to show that phi is 1 1. Okay, so showing 1 1 is exactly the converse of this. Okay, मग आपण काय करणार हे गृहीत धरणार. So we will assume this for V1 plus U comma V2 plus U belonging to V mod U. This will imply that T of V1 is equal to T of V2. So therefore it is if and only if. Why this will imply this? Because that is nothing but our definition of phi, right? So we'll show you if you want. See, what will be phi of V1 plus U? It will be T of V1, and phi of V2 plus U will be equal to T of V2. Okay, so therefore this will imply this. Okay, and it is if and only if we shift this T of V2 on the right hand side, sorry, on the left hand side, so therefore we will get this. Okay, this is again if and only if. Again T is a linear map, so T of V1 minus T of V2 is nothing but what? T of V1 minus V2. So therefore T of V1 minus V2 will be equal to 0. And now since image of V1 minus V2 is 0, so V1 minus V2 will belong to U, right? Now since this result is if and only if, now you can use this result in this direction, and therefore V1 plus U is equal to V2 plus U. So we have started with what? Phi of V1 plus U is equal to phi of V2 plus U, and what we have proved? V1 plus U is equal to V2 plus U. Okay, so therefore phi is 1 1 also. Okay, which I have written in the next step, which you can see here. So I have started with this equation. Therefore T of V1 will be equal to T of V2. This will imply T of V1 minus T of V2 is equal to 0. Since T is a linear map, this thing will happen. Therefore V1 minus V2 will belong to U. That is our kernel of T. Therefore V1 plus U will be equal to V2 plus U. That theory question number 1, if and only if result we have used. Therefore phi is 1 1, and I will call it as 1. Okay, now what we have to show is, now we have to show whatever phi is there. Okay, phi is defined from what? V mod U to what? W. And how it is defined? Phi of V plus U is equal to what? T of V. Remember what is T? T from V to W is a onto, underline this word, it is a onto linear transformation. Okay, now in order to show this phi is onto, we will take one element of W. Onto means what? Every element in the codomain should have a pre-image. So what I will do, I will take one element of W, and I will try to show that it has a pre-image in V mod U. Okay, so I'm calling that element as small w. So I'll say let w belongs to what? W. That is what I have said here. And what I have to do, I have to find some element v plus u belonging to what? V mod u, such that what should happen is phi of v plus u should be equal to what? This w. Okay, this w and this w is one and the same. So therefore I have said let w belongs to w be an element. So now see, now t is already given to be onto. Now since w is from w, now under t this w is going to have a pre-image. Okay, so therefore what I will say, let me erase this out. So I'll say therefore, okay, since this is onto, therefore there will exist v belonging to v such that t of v is equal to what? W. Is that okay? So that is what I have written. Yes, so but t from v to w is onto map, so therefore this will happen. Okay, so now observe carefully. Now this v belongs to v. Okay, so with the help of this small v, can we construct an element of quotient space v mod u? Obviously yes. Which will be that element? Okay, so since this v belongs to v, I'm talking about this small v. Now since v belongs to v, what will be the corresponding coset? It will be v plus u. So v plus u will belong to what? V mod u, right? And now let us try to find what will be phi of v plus u. Okay, now according to definition of phi, what is phi of v plus u? It is t of v, right? But t of v is nothing but what? It is w. So that is what we wanted to do. So for any w belonging to w, we are able to find v plus u belonging to v mod u such that phi of v plus u is equal to what? W, and therefore phi is onto. So that is what I have written here. So here v belongs to v. So I have constructed a coset with the help of that v. So v plus u belongs to v mod u, and therefore for any w belonging to w, there exists v plus u belonging to v mod u such that phi of v plus u, which is equal to t of v. This is according to definition of phi, but t of v is what? W. So which is equal to w, and therefore phi is onto. So I have called it as 2. Now what we have to show? It remains to show that this phi is a linear transformation or linear map. Okay, so in order to show this phi is a linear map, we should recall the definition of linear transformation. Okay, so how do we show T is a linear transformation? We combine that two conditions together. I hope you remember that two conditions. T of u plus v is equal to T of u plus T of v, and the second one is T of alpha u is alpha times T of u. But these two conditions can be combined together into one condition, right? And which is that this T of alpha x plus beta x is equal to alpha x plus beta y, okay, is equal to what? Alpha times T of x plus beta times T of y. Okay, so now over here, so we have to show phi is a linear map, right? So the definition will slightly change. Okay, so instead of t, what we are going to have? Phi, right? So phi of alpha x plus beta y is equal to alpha times phi of x plus beta times phi of y. That is what we have to show. Okay, so now from where are this x and y? This x and y are from the domain, as I have already told you. So therefore this x will be from v mod u and y will be from v mod u. But you already know how do elements of v mod u look like? They are cosets. Okay, so that is what I have written here. So I have said let x is equal to v1 plus u and y is equal to v2 plus u belonging to v mod u, and alpha beta belonging to r be an element, right? You have to show this. phi of alpha x plus beta y is equal to alpha times phi of x plus beta times phi of y. So I have started with LHS. Okay, so I'll consider LHS, that is phi of alpha x plus beta y. Now put the value of x over there. So x is nothing but what? V1 plus u, right? Plus this beta, and y is nothing but what? V2 plus u, which is further equal to, now you know how do we take scalar multiplication. So we know how is scalar multiplication defined in V mod u, isn't it? You might remember alpha of v plus u is nothing but what? Alpha v plus u. अशा पद्धतीने स्केलर मल्टिप्लिकेशन डिफाइन केलेली आहे. So that we will use. So this will be alpha v1 plus u plus beta v2 plus u. Okay, now addition of cosets. So this is a coset, this is a coset, right? And this is one coset. So this is one coset, this is one coset. So how do we add two cosets? Okay, so this is equal to, simply add the representatives. So alpha v1 plus beta v2, right, plus what? U, isn't it? Now we have to use the definition of phi. So this will be what? See how phi is defined. Phi of v plus u is equal to what? T of v. So this representative, whichever is there, we simply take image of that under t. So over here our representative is alpha v1 plus beta v2. So this will be T of alpha v1 plus beta v2, which is further equal to what? Now since t is already a linear transformation, so this will be alpha times t of v1 plus beta times t of v2, which is further equal to alpha. But what is t of v1? Now in this way our phi is defined, right? So since t of v is this, what will be t of v1? Simply phi of v1 plus u. So alpha times phi of v1 plus u plus beta, and similarly what will be t of v2? It will be phi of v2 plus u, and that is what we wanted to show. Okay, because this is nothing but what? Alpha times phi of this v1 plus u is nothing but what? It is x plus beta, and this v2 plus u is nothing but what? Y, and that is what we wanted to show, which I have written here. Okay, so I said consider LHS. So this is phi of alpha x plus beta y, which is further equal to phi of alpha, x value takli, y value takli, which is equal to, now here one few steps are skipped actually. If you want you can write that steps. So which is further equal to phi of, okay, alpha v1 plus u. Okay, I am giving square brackets in order to avoid the confusion, plus beta v2 plus u, which is further equal to phi of addition of cosets. So alpha v1 plus beta v2 plus u. Okay, and now the definition of phi is applied, so we'll get this. Therefore, since t is a linear map, and therefore we'll get this by putting values of t of v1, t of v2, and at last, yes, so this alpha phi of x plus beta phi of y, which is r of RHS, and therefore this thing is happening, and therefore from 1, 2 and 3, phi from v mod u to w is an isomorphism. What was our one equation? Phi is 1, 1. 2 was phi is 1, 2, and third one is nothing but what? Phi is a linear transformation. Just let me check. Yes, that is right. And therefore this phi from v mod u to w is isomorphism. Now since this is isomorphism, what can you say about v mod u and w? They are isomorphic. Therefore v mod u is isomorphic to w, that is nothing but v mod kernel of t is isomorphic to w. Okay, so this is regarding the proof of first isomorphism theorem. Now just try to understand first isomorphism theorem, but before that just I will erase everything. So just try to understand what is first isomorphism theorem saying. Okay, whenever you are having a linear transformation from V to W, which should be what? Onto, keep this in mind, then immediately we can say that this V mod kernel of T is isomorphic to what? W. Okay, so how to identify that? We have to use first isomorphism theorem. So whenever we have to show something is isomorphic and one vector space among the two is a quotient space. I will repeat again. When we are going to use this first isomorphism theorem, when we have to show two vector spaces are isomorphic and out of that two, one is what? At least one is a quotient space. दोन्ही quotient space असतील then that is also fine. Okay, ते पण चालेल, पण कमीत कमी एक क्वेश्चन स्पेस पाहिजे. असं नको व्हायला की कोणताही क्वेश्चन स्पेस नाही. Is that okay? So in that case we can go for what? The first isomorphism theorem. But sometimes it may also happen that your T is not onto. Okay, suppose your T is not onto, then in that case what? Okay, so in that case still first isomorphism theorem can be applied, but there will be a slight change. Okay, what is that change? जर T onto नसेल, सपोज हा onto नाही आहे, हा linear transformation already आहे, so what we can do is we can convert this linear transformation into onto. Okay, how we can do it? Just restrict our codomain. Okay, म्हणजे बघा onto function म्हणजे काय असतं, राईट? आता सपोज इथे काही एलिमेंट्स आहेत असं आपण म्हणूया, हे फंक्शन आहे सपोज, राईट? आता बघा हे फंक्शन ऑन टू आहे का? दिस इज नॉट ऑन टू. इज दॅट ओके? बिकॉज दिस एलिमेंट्स ओव्हर हिअर, ओके, दिस टू एलिमेंट्स इज नॉट हॅव्हिंग प्री इमेज, दिस वन अँड दिस वन, सो दे आर नॉट हॅव्हिंग प्री इमेजेस, सो दॅरफॉर इट इज नॉट ऑन टू. मग आपण याला ऑन टू मध्ये कसं कन्वर्ट करू शकतो? हे दोन जे एलिमेंट्स आहेत प्रॉब्लेमॅटिक ते काढून टाकायचे. ओके, then we can make this function as onto. This is T, let us say. Okay, so same thing we have to do here. Okay, so if it is not onto, we can convert it into onto. Okay, so what I will do is see how to remove the elements of codomain which does not have pre-image. Add a symbol T from V to, now instead of W I will write what? Image of T. Now we have already learned what is image of T. So what I have done, I have restricted my codomain only to image of T. So naturally what has happened is these elements are not there in image of T. Okay, so now it is on to, now we can apply first isomorphism theorem, and by first isomorphism theorem we can say that V mod kernel of T is isomorphic to what? Image of T. Okay, so this is a note actually, so I will give you this note just after this theorem. Okay, I think now I have not written it, but I will write it, okay, immediately after this. So this is regarding what? First isomorphism theorem. Thank you.